Hello, friends and adventurers, and welcome back to Sally Cat Plays Blades of Exile. And welcome to the rebel stronghold on Morrow's Isle, the town of Buzzard. You have reached the city of Buzzard, a heavily fortified fortress perched in the mountains of northeast Morrow's Isle. You have suspected for some time that the unthinkable was true, that this city is not under Empire control. A brief look at the soldiers guarding the city indicates that this is indeed true. The Empire has not announced that the rebels control Buzzard, and you can see why they have kept it quiet. For the Empire to not have control of a city on its lands is almost unprecedented, and an amazing achievement for the Hill Runners. Normally, any sort of rebellion, even one only a fraction as serious as this one, is met by massive, violent Empire retaliation. Ask any exile. Yet Buzzard has managed to remain independent. For as long as it lasts, this is truly an amazing place. Yeah, so far the Empire seems to be taking a more stealthy approach, as opposed to their usual overwhelming force. Perhaps resources are running a bit thin after the Exile War and plagues in Valorum. Perhaps something else is afoot. Buzzard. All right then. And as usual, the guards don't talk to me. This ragged man sits looking out over the pool. All of his worldly possessions are contained in 2 sacks at his side. A begging bowl sits in front of him. He grabs the bowl and holds it up to you. I'm called Stone. I'm just trying to get money for food. Spare a gold piece. You give him a gold piece. Thanks, he says. Things haven't been going right since the mess in fall. I was a woodsman down there. Then the rebels blew the town up, and I was out of work. I'm just waiting to get my job back. You know, I suppose the rebels had their reasons for doing what they did, but I wish that they'd found another way. I want to be back to work. Well, they were kind enough to let you into their city, I guess. Buzzard City Park. Treat it with respect. This building is accessible only through the outer wall. Interesting. And it's guard quarters. Somewhat less interesting. Fine, interrupt my exploration, will you? Is this a training hall? Yes, it is. And that looked like an inn. Okay, which one of you can I talk to? Not you. And not you. So it must be the odd one out. Buzzard's an unusual town, and has an unusual trainer. He's a tall, imposing wizard, in full traditional robes. He takes a break from instructing a captain in the finer details of woodcraft to speak with you. I am Durfler. Welcome to the training hall. I was a wizard of the Empire, now doing what is needed for the rebels. I can perform training of all sorts, and have been known to do identification as well. Cool. The Empire sent me out with Lord Volpe years ago to help maintain order. That was before I joined the rebels. A cruel, selfish, unjust man. He won't be missed. A wizard's mind travels in strange realms, but not so far off it loses sight of justice. Lord Volpe was treating this island unjustly, so I joined the rebels. I give knowledge, and fight as well. There is not a man or woman on this island who can throw a stronger fireball. So, can't buy training here. Identification is middling expensive. He casts the difficult identify spell with a minimum of effort, and looks over your items. I can tell what they are for a minimal fee, 12 gold each. Nah, thanks, I've got my own. Even if it casts all of the spell points. So, ooh, medium healing, medium energy, medium strength, very cool. Also, what of those shields I picked up from the Hydras? Okay, silver necklace, not that exciting. Crude large shield, also not great. And crude shield. Barely worth picking up. Maybe I can find someone to sell all of this stuff to. Hello, random townsman. You see a small, nondescript man walking around town and thinking. He looks uncomfortable when you walk up to talk to him. I'm Smith. Oh, just strolling. Just a nice, peaceful walk. Nothing can beat it. Okay then. Probably there's a code word or something that I can ask you about later. Luna's Fletchery. I'll save you for last, because reasons. Ah, pick breaks. Really? I wonder if this is where Durfler lives. Can't. Oh, right. Okay, I'm just going to assume that I cannot get in there for now. I do, however, notice this odd bit connecting that building to the training hall. Oh, stupid guards always in my way. Yaha! So that's trapped. It's got gold, a crystal, and gauntlets. And I am reloading. Because I'm not sure that I actually want to steal from the rebels right now. Kitty. Aw, why don't animals respond to me in this scenario thing? That's one thing I loved about the original Exile games, is you could get dialogue from talking to all the critters. Buzzard in? Okay, there is someone behind the bar. This man is sitting at his table, scribbling furiously on a vellum scroll, and gets a much less commonly used portrait here. When you approach, however, he drops what he's doing to speak with you. I am Macron. Pleased to meet you. He smiles and points at the scroll. I'm an information gatherer. I know what you're thinking. I'm not a spy. I hail from the city of Krizan. I work for a great new thing there. It's called a Scroll of News. Ah, a newspaper. Beautiful city, way to the south. Okay, so I guess Morrow's Isle is somewhere off one of the northern coasts of Valorum? ? It's a new sort of business, started by a wizard there. First, people like me are sent out to find out what is happening in the world. When we find something out, we use magic to communicate it back home, where they have a magical machine which makes lots of the scrolls, and they get sold to people. Then everyone can find out what is happening in Valorum. Of course I came here, because the rebellion is a great story. And one I'm sure that the Empire will be totally fine with getting out. I don't know what the Empire will think of us telling people about this rebellion, but people will sure pay to read about it. That I'm sure is true. That's why I came here. Of course, what I really want is to speak to Stalker. People barely tolerate my being here as it is. They certainly won't let me reach their secret leader to ask him questions. I would give anything for a few words. If you ever see him, mention my name. I can let people everywhere know what's happening. It could help him a lot, and it would sell us lots of scrolls. Everyone gains. Just think it over. I can see absolutely nothing wrong with that plan. The woman looking after the bar is rather harried and not entirely sure what she's doing, but manages to do her job with such charm and good grace that nobody seems to mind. Oh, hi, hon. I'm Rita. How can I help? Oh, well, looking after the inn while Rudolph is gone. We have rations if you're going hiking somewhere. Whiskey is 4 gold, and a nice room is 10. Her cheery expression is temporarily marred by worry. My husband. He normally runs the inn, but he's off fighting with the rebels. She shakes her head. Not something I wish to dwell on. How about a nice meal? Okay, how about some whiskey? She serves you up a few shots of strong mountain liquor. The harsh liquid inflicts great pain and suffering on the inside of your mouth and throat, but in a good way. Okay, then. Okay, so I have to ask specifically about meal for food. Prices are somewhat pricey. Probably don't need a lot of it. Do I want a room? Sure, I'll take a room. Rita takes a moment from her hard work to show you around back to your room. It's simple but comfortable, and you have a restful night. Yay. And apparently someone else is staying in the other room. Quite possibly Macron. Healer Runner Storage, keep out. Healer Runner Storage, keep out. And Healer Runner Storage, keep out. Okay then. Maya's Spellcraft. Hello, I like spells. This mage looks reluctantly up from her book when you approach. She sighs, resigned to dealing with your intrusion on her life of the mind. I'm Maya. I'm formerly of the School of Magery in Zaskiva. Now I just study. It's closed for business, probably permanently now. All mages capable of serving in any capacity were press ganged to fight the rebels, and the empty school was heavily damaged by the explosion in Zaskiva, the one that killed Volpe. I'm not going to pretend to like the man. I'm glad he's dead. Yes, boy was I ever glad to get out of there. Fortunately, someone took care of Volpe once and for all. Buzzard is a lot easier to live in. So, is Maya the same wizard person that was in Zaskiva earlier? Because I thought her name sounded a little familiar. I've always sympathized with the rebels. Now I'm one of them. Big improvement. What I study is none of your business. Of course, to make ends meet, I do a little teaching to keep myself in books to read. Yeah, this is definitely the same person. Yay, I can still buy spells for slightly less expensive than they are elsewhere. Do I blow all my money on Dispel Barrier? Hehehe. Well, Maya, you were able to set up shop pretty quickly in the amount of time that it took for me to allow the rebels to blow up Lord Volpe, make it through the sewers, and get over here. Though I guess making it through the sewers did take some time. Another guardhouse. Many guards here. Paulina's Pyrotechnics is closed. And has nothing of interest. Buzzard Armory is open. You meet a tired woman working doggedly to finish a spearhead. She's competent enough, but you can see her heart clearly isn't in it. I am Tori the Smith. Welcome to my shop. We have weapons and armor you can purchase, and you can sell your excess goods to me as well. Hooray! They're the highest quality goods, forged of our own mountain iron. She smiles wryly. These mountains have all sorts of mines, with all sorts of valuable metals. My husband helped me mine them. Once. Oh no. My husband worked in the mines, until he went off to fight with the rebels. I can sort of understand it, considering the conditions, but I don't have to like it. Fair enough. Why do you think the rebellion started in these mountains? The mine workers were worked by Volpe's hand-picked lord for 16 hours a day, with terrible safety and minimal pay. Stalker was a miner once, until he fought back. This town's lord was the first to be punished. She gives the spearhead an extra vicious blow with her hammer, and smiles. His body will never be found. Okay. You join a long and proud tradition of miners standing up to the bosses. Good on ya. Okay, so she sells iron weapons and iron armor. Not terribly exciting. I could say it's just an iron wave blade, but seriously, wave blade! Out in the middle of nowhere empire. Okay, damage 10-2. Versus steel broadsword 9-3. I'm not quite sure which is better. They work out about the same. The iron wave blade has higher base damage, but I think the higher bonus also helps it hit a little more. Well, I feel much better carrying those shields around, given I didn't have to pay for identification. That's a lot of healing potions. It looks like this door has a magical alarm wired into it. Ah. I will not enter then. So I see armor and weapon storage, and whatever's in here is not... Well, the door's not trapped. This one is. So there is a wand that is totally available for me if I want it. Gold. Not mine, but no one's looking. And I might need to give Chiana some more trap skill because she's been failing a lot lately. Well, it's time to talk to this Luna, I guess. And I notice a conspicuous hallway hidden behind here. A small, quiet woman sits behind the counter, intently working on a set of matched bolts. When she looks up at you, You see that she has a huge scar along the side of her face. "I am Luna," she says quietly. "I have missiles you can purchase. I also work for the rebels." When she speaks, she turns her face away from you, trying in vain to conceal the scar. Arrows, bolts, or crossbows? So she has crossbow and fine crossbow available, whereas I only have a regular crossbow. I do kind of like that +1 to hit, even if it is expensive. Ooh, magic arrows. A little too rich for my blood right now, though. I can see if I can ask about the scar, even though that feels really rude. I cannot. "You are to meet with the rebels. To get to them, press the button behind the plant." She points at the potted plant in the corner. "First, I'm to give you your next lesson in fighting the Empire." She turns her face towards you and points at the scar on her cheek. "Jane's men did this to me. The only thing I did for it was try to complain to Lord Volpe about conditions in the mines. The lesson is to never forget the evil of your enemies. I am reminded of it every day, and it keeps me strong. Others have their own reminders. Dead mothers, dead sons. If you are lucky enough to not have a reminder forced upon you, you must find your own. It's the only way you can stay strong. Now go. Stalker is waiting." "Stalker is our leader. I would die for him." Her cold sincerity is inspiring and alarming at the same time. You look behind the pot and find a small switch in the wall. You flip it, and a section of the east wall slides away. Luna smirks. "When the Empire controlled this city, that really came in handy." I bet it did. You find a stairway heading down. And darkness. Back when the rebels were still underground, this was where a good number of them hid out. To the south, you see pallets on the floor. To the north are a number of storage boxes. Now that it isn't needed, these chambers are cold, dark, and empty, with one exception. You see a dim red glow down the passage to the northwest. So yeah, presumably all these boxes are empty. Ooh, bolts. If they were iron bolts, I would take them. Arrows. Darts. Useless garbage. Oh, look, another fancy chair. Okay, so when they said pallets, they meant sleeping pallets, not shipping pallets. I also see a secret door behind the chair. Well, the door is quite locked. All of this seems rather familiar. Eerily familiar, in fact. It's a dim underground room, with a large throne set in the middle of it, facing a wall. When you sit in the throne, the light from the braziers dims, and a voice speaks. The voice is softer and more natural than the voice in the chamber under Willow, but still has a disjointed, recorded quality. "Hello, adventurers. I am Stalker, leader of the Hill Runners, planner of our just war against the Empire. You have done great good for us so far. One more test, and we will truly let you into our inner circle. In the south side of these mountains, to the southeast, there is a hidden Empire fort. It is well defended, and we have had trouble infiltrating it. We believe that you can succeed. Go there, break in, and kill the Empire commander there, and we will be convinced of your loyalty to our cause. We will bring you in and give you power in our organization. When you have completed this mission, or should you have other questions, return here. That is all. The speech ends, and the lights rise. Okay then. Unfortunately, if I have other questions, I cannot ask them now. I can also try unlocking the door a few times, but given that it's using a portcullis graphic instead of a door graphic, I doubt this will work. Yeah, I didn't think so. You knock on the wall. Luna opens the concealed door to let you out. Capture soul. Luna, ooh, she's not just an Empire archer, she is Luna. Well, we have our orders from the rebels, but I'm pretty sure I should check in with Jane under Willow, or Jane's agent under Willow, or whatever the heck is going on there, before I carry them out. While they're friendly and sociable, they make it clear you aren't allowed to pass. Okay, so this is rebel territory. I guess the hidden Empire fort must be around the other side of the mountain here somewhere. You notice that one of the stones on the path is a slightly different color than the others. On a hunch, you turn it over and find the words Stone 3 carved on the underside. How odd. Huh. Well, now I found the first, second, and third stones, and I still have no idea what, if any, significance there is there. Speaking of significance... Well, this may not have any, but I believe I see what could be a hidden fort over here. Yep, Hidden Empire Outpost. If the Hill Runners hadn't told you that this outpost would be here, you would never have known to look for it. Now that you know, however, the narrow path and soldiers' tracks are readily apparent. The tracks led up to this mountain wall. There's no door or passage visible. It's probably magically concealed. Well, I won't be actually going into it just yet. But I did want to make sure I could find it. And this conveniently gets me on the other side of the river, where maybe I can poke at a special dot over here, perhaps? I have no way of getting there. So it is starting to bother me just a little to have all those dumbfound question marks. Shiana can keep hers. She doesn't have any spells. All right, Jane, I am increasingly gaining the rebels' trust. The room darkens, and you hear a single word. Report. You tell of the meeting under Buzzard, and of the mission to kill the Empire soldiers. There is a pause, and the voice says, "This is as we suspected. After the last atrocity, it was only natural you would be asked to raise the stakes and bloody your own hands. Since they gave you this mission, they must have a great deal of trust for you. You must not perform this mission. Slaying Empire soldiers will not be tolerated. Do not do it at any cost. Instead, you are to return to Buzzard. Tell them that you will do this mission, but only if you can meet Stalker first. Tell them this is the only condition. Considering the trust they have shown you, they will surely agree. And once you report his location back to us, we will have him. That is all." The room brightens. Well, it seems like we might have a choice to make here. Which way shall I choose? Find out next time. Until then, have a good one, and take care, everybody.